A story of addiction, recovery, and hope on this episode of Barnstable Today. I'm Sarah Colvin. It's Monday, January 9th, 2012. This Thursday, Fall River native and former Boston Celtic Chris Herron will be coming to Barnstable High School. He won't be shooting hoops in the gym. Instead, he'll be telling our community his compelling story of his rise to basketball fame, all while battling a terrible addiction to drugs. Chris joined me on today's episode of Barnstable this morning to share just a portion of his story. So tell me, Chris, a little bit about your story. Go back, if you can, just briefly, and tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Well, I mean, I grew up in this area. I grew up in Fall River, Massachusetts, and, always inspired and dreamt of becoming a professional basketball player, and along the way I was able to accomplish that. But there was a backstory, and that was, that I was getting involved in bad choices and bad lifestyle decisions and social decisions that started for me at a young age, in high school, that eventually caught up with me and derailed that dream and that basketball career when I was 32.
Exactly, and reading your book, and I've seen the ESPN documentary Unguarded, which many people say is very compelling, and it's just amazing to see, you kind of rise from a high school star at Durfee and then go on to college basketball fame and professional basketball fame at the same time with a wife and family, and also with this substance abuse issue. And I know you tried to stop several times, but of course that's easier said than done.
Mm. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of people along the way, who there's fallout in addiction. There's a lot of people who suffered because of me and because of my addiction, like my wife, like my children, like my family and friends, and etc. And there were times I tried to stop, and there were times I told myself that I could overcome this, and I could manage it, and I could juggle it, and it was just all lies and part of the disease. And it wasn't until I surrendered and went away and got opportunities like going to the Miller House and places like that, who gave me time to heal and to recover.
Exactly, and I know you had tried, as you said, tried to stop on your own and gone through a couple of different rehab programs. What was it that finally did it for you, that allowed you to finally make it through and battle with the problem?
I think I was just willing to put the work in, and like I said, the places like the Miller House, like Daytop, that I had gone to, gave me an opportunity to get my life back. And that's how I had to look at it. And, it's not a place to just sit there and take a little break. It's a place where you can, heal and recover and put the work in. And, I look back, and that's why it's important for me to go to Barnstable High School. That's why it's important for me that I work for Gosnell, because that area, the Cape itself and Gosnell is one of the reasons why I'm at that today, for giving me the opportunity to get well.
So talk to me, Chris, about why it's important for you now to share your story with the public, and especially with youngsters here in New England.
Just traveling around and starting this about 2 years ago, seeing the feedback that I was getting from students, whether it be in high school or college, it was just an amazing feeling for me. It gave kids an opportunity to trust somebody and and gave them a voice. And the emails that I've received have been life-changing, and for me, and at times for the people who emailed me. So I don't know. It's just important to me. It's something that is within me. I don't want anybody to have to live the life that I did. And if I can stop a young kid or anybody from going down that road, that's what it's all about.
Exactly. And I know, Chris, that recovery is an everyday battle. It's not something that you can, just wake up one morning and say, I'm cured. It is, as they say, one day at a time. So I would think that, doing stuff like this is very helpful to your recovery, and it helps you stay clean.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you're told right from the get-go that you can't keep it unless you give it away, and service work is extremely important. And traveling around, talking to kids and different groups is part of that. So it's better than any trophy I've ever had, in my basketball career, because this is real life, and people have been able to turn it around, whether it be due to Basketball Junkie or Unguarded. I recently received a tweet from a guy who said, I watched Unguarded and I'm 57 days sober. That's amazing.
That's got to be a wonderful feeling, as you said, Chris, to know that you are definitely impacting people. And I think there's no question that the message that you send is getting to people. What makes you different? I know that, of course, there's a lot of people who will go around and talk to kids and say, don't do drugs, it's bad. And I think that there's kind of a unique impact that your message has. Talk to me a little bit about when you're formulating these talks, when you get ready to speak to an audience. Of course, you're hoping that your message gets across. Is there anything specific that you do, anything that you think of in mind when you get up in front of these kids to share your important message?
Well, I think, as Unguarded, as that was presented, I kind of changed my talk due to the audience as well. If it's younger kids, it's a different talk. If it's city kids, if it's college kids, or people in the treatment center, the talk is a little different every time. I get nervous like I'm doing it for my first time, because I know the importance of it, and it means so much to me to get out there and do it. But I think playing for the Celtics, playing for the Nuggets, playing professional basketball, being a Fall River kid has given me a little bit of credibility. So when you walk in the gym, it's just not some doctor coming in to talk. It's a guy who played professional sports, and the kids tend to listen a little bit. I think that anybody, when they speak from the heart with honesty, I think that people can relate to that. And that's what I try to do. I just try to speak to whatever group that I'm talking to from the heart, and tell them my story and spill my guts, because some people say, like, wow, it must be really hard to tell that story, or sometimes do you not want to talk about those things? And I say absolutely, but it's important, because someone else might be going through the same thing, or it might scare somebody from going down that road.
So, Chris, when people come to Barnstable High School this Thursday, what are you hoping they walk away with? What are you hoping they take away from after seeing your presentation?
I just it's all about raising awareness. It's all about opening lines of communication. I think that's another amazing email that I've received. A pretty common email along the way is that, if you've given me the opportunity to sit down and talk with my child, or with my mother, my father, and if I can do that and inspire somebody to go home and say, hey, I've been going down this road and I need help, or maybe I should call Gosnold and go to detox. I mean, that's all I hope for. If I can reach one kid in that audience, or one parent, or whoever, that's worth it, 100%.
Exactly, and we'd hope that people don't start down that road, but I think also to take away that if you are in trouble, that there is help, and you can essentially turn your life around and get better again.
Absolutely. I mean, there was a point in my life where I didn't think that I could turn it around. There was a point in my life where I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and there is, and there's a way, and one day at a time, that way can. That light can shine, and I thank God every day for the people who helped me along the way, and the people who weren't afraid to confront me and say, hey, it's time to go, and it's amazing.
Chris Herron will be appearing at Barnstable High School this Thursday evening at 6:30 p.m. The talk is sponsored by Gosnold Treatment Centers, the Hyannis Youth and Community Center, and Barnstable Libraries. The event is free of charge. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.